We talk so much about glow ups, how to look better, how to dress better, how to do your hair better, but nobody talks about the hardest glow up, the mental glow up, the one that nobody can see, but everyone can feel. I used to think that if I could just fix this one thing, either lose 5 pounds, clear my skin up, do my makeup better, then everything would fall into place and I would begin to get the things I want out of life. But it's based on the idea that looks are everything, and well, they're not. The truth is that being pretty gets you noticed, but being magnetic gets you remembered. It gets you in places that you couldn't even imagine being. So welcome to my 3-part series of magnetism. We are going to be going over first the mindset, the method, and then the madness. This is a 3-part video series. If you're new here, my name is Natalie, and this is where I share ways that I'm getting my shit together so that you can get your shit together. This video is all about the mindset, how you are going to get into the mindset in order to become the most magnetic version of yourself. Then in part 2, we're going to go into the method of the glow up. This is how you will physically glow up into the version of yourself you want to become in 2026. In that video, I'm also going to be talking about pretty privilege and how to actually utilize your beauty to your advantage, not based on a Western lens, but based on your own personal attributes. And finally, in part 3, we are going to be going over the madness. These are all the crazy delusional manifestation techniques that actually allow you to step into the version of yourself that you are trying to become in 2026. Okay, so the mindset. What does that even mean? I'm gonna ask you a question, and I need you to be honest with yourself. Do you secretly believe that good things just don't happen to you? Like, logically, you know they could, but deep down you feel like you're the exception. You're the backup friend. You're the girl who almost got picked. You're the girl who almost, but never the girl who did. Listen, I get it. Like, I'm not saying this to rub this in your face. I know this is a little bit of a harsh question, but I think a lot of us deep down don't think we are worthy of good things, and that worthiness makes us constantly brace for impact. We are always assuming that things are about to go wrong. And that's what I really want to focus on, because that unworthiness that we feel is actually creating our reality for us. It is not intentional. It's not like you're trying to sabotage yourself. You're not going out of your way to deny opportunities in your life. You've just been taught that you have to work hard for it in order to deserve it. But what if I told you that doesn't have to be the case? You don't have to prove your worth in order to be worthy of what you want. We have been lied to. We've been taught that our worth is based on metrics and numbers, and that's what we call magnetism, but it's not magnetism, it's just attention seeking. And what I need you to understand is that your worth doesn't come from anything outside of yourself. It comes from within. Something that you might feel is limiting you and your magnetism is the fact that you don't have enough skill. And honestly, I get it. It can be really difficult nowadays to find a teacher that's reputable and skilled enough to teach you what you need in order to get to the next level. And that's exactly why Skillshare is today's sponsor, because you are learning skills from people who are actually doing what you want to do in life. If you're not familiar with Skillshare, it's the largest online learning community designed specifically for creatives. Something that I've been realizing is that confidence grows when your skill grows, and I'm always looking for ways in order to become more confident in my YouTube and my content creation, and their classes have become such a safe space for me in order to learn without pressure at my own pace from people who actually do what they teach. I've been really focusing on getting very clear with my brand management and social media strategy, so I started taking this class by Maggie Stara called Powerful Social Media Marketing from Beginner to Advanced. And one thing that she said that really stuck with me is that your brand starts with clarity, not just with aesthetics. So that was a really good reminder for me. And not only that, there are learning paths which make it so easy if you're wanting to learn skills that build off one another. For example, you want to get into animation, but you have no idea about video editing. You can start a learning path that takes you through the literal basics of animation, from beginner to advanced on any skill that you could think of. So if you or a family member are on a creative journey this holiday season, trust me, this is such a good gift. It's like the gift of, I've always wanted to learn that and I never knew where to go for it. Do yourself a favor and stop putting off that skill. Go to this QR code on the screen or click the link in my description. The first 500 people get 1 month of Skillshare absolutely free, and that's for people who have never used Skillshare before, so be sure to go ahead and check out Skillshare. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. Something that most women don't realize is that your nervous system is killing your magnetism. Stress doesn't just live in your mind. It shows up in your energy, your body, and your mindset. I'm talking about your aura, your presence. When you walk in the room and you're stressed out, you're moving frantically. You cannot think straight. You keep forgetting things. When you're constantly overwhelmed, stressed out, and in go, go, go mode, your mind shifts to sympathetic dominance. You are in constant fight or flight. No wonder you don't feel worthy. As we talked about earlier, I feel like a lot of women go through this where they don't feel worthy of the experiences they desire. And the reason you don't feel worthy of them is because you're constantly scared that something bad is going to happen. Now, let me be clear when I say this. I don't mean that just thinking that nothing bad is going to happen will automatically shield you from any negative experiences. That would be like me telling you to not be aware of your surroundings if you're walking at night. It's not logical to tell you to not use your own instincts. However, the situation that you're putting yourself in is more similar to, let's say there's two sides of a street. There's a side that's lit up with all of these different lamps and street lights, or the right side of the street, which is extremely dark. Mentally, you're in a state where you're putting yourself on the side of the street that is dark and not lit up correctly because you fear what it's like to go to the lit side of the street. There's a part of you that is addicted to your own suffering in a sense. And I'm not saying that the things that have happened to you aren't valid. What I'm saying is that because of those experiences, your mind has been tainted. When you live in the state where you are stressed out all the time, you physically cannot access your parasympathetic nervous system. This is the state where you're calm, receptive, and magnetic. You can't access that version of yourself because you're stressed out all of the time. You're worried about how you're going to pay your bills and how you're going to make it and how you're going to live the life that you want to live. Now, let me just be clear. I'm not blaming you for this because you're probably unaware about how your day-to-day life impacts your energy. But we need to create a safe space for you going into the new year where you can de-stress and actually lean into this magnetic version of yourself. Now, why does it matter that we're in this relaxed state? Well, when you are stressed out all the time, you come off as sharp. Your facial expressions literally tighten. Your voice will sound demanding to people, and people will ask you, like, why are you acting like that? And you're like, acting like what? Acting like what? I'm not acting like anything. And you don't realize you're doing it, but you are. You become less approachable without even realizing you're doing it. So how do we change that? We regulate it. First things first, we need to reframe your anxiety into excitement. As an anxious person myself, I'm never going to tell you to fake a personality that you aren't. You guys have seen every single version of myself. You've seen the version of me where I'm happy. You see the version of me where I do little skits. And you guys can tell I naturally have a lot of energy, and it's become my superpower. But at one point, it was my anxiety. It was the worst version of myself. I hated how fast I talked. I hated all of these versions of me that would hyper-analyze social situations and stress myself out for no reason. But I realized my gift was that I was aware. Oftentimes, when you are an anxious person, you don't have the gift of anxiety, right? You have the gift of being aware. You are aware to things that the average person typically isn't. You can sense when someone comes into the room and their energy is off. You can sense when your friend is sad because they had a bad day. But because you are so aware of everyone else, you often neglect yourself. Where everything changed for me is I stopped trying to calm down or just tell my mind to shut up, and I started transmuting the anxiety I felt into excitement. I know this sounds a little weird at first, but both anxiety and excitement trigger the same exact physiological response. Both activate your sympathetic nervous system. Both make your heart race, increase your adrenaline, and heighten your senses. All your body knows is we're aware, we're listening, we see what's going on around us. The difference is in your mind, and I'm not talking about situations where there's actual physical danger. I'm talking about social situations where you can't stop overthinking why that lady is looking at you weird. The only difference is in your mind, the cognitive label that you put on what anxiety is versus what excitement is. This is exactly why reframing anxiety is so important, because it affirms to yourself that you are actually going for opportunities that are aligned with you. For example, I used to be deathly afraid of public speaking. Look at what I'm doing now. I'm doing things that I never thought I'd be able to do with my anxiety, all because I started to label it as excitement. And that doesn't mean that the physical sensation isn't uncomfortable. It just means that you have a way to go about it that helps you instead of harms you. Because the truth is, a lot of anxiety in good situations, like let's say you're going to a job interview or you're doing public speaking, speaking, or whatever you're doing is really just your lower self trying to protect you from disappointment. You have been disappointed before. If you've been let down or overlooked or denied before, you're obviously going to want to protect yourself from those experiences because they don't feel good. Your fear-based self will try to convince you that any type of anxiety you feel is dangerous, but that is not the truth. You need to analyze situations for what they actually are and understand when your lower self is trying to get in the way of what you actually want to do with your life. And I know it sounds easy when I say it, but this stuff is actually really hard. Your anxiety says something bad is about to happen, but your excitement says something good is coming. And you need to override it sometimes. You need to tell yourself that good things are coming to you. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference. You teach it that. Your anxiety doesn't run you. You run you. So let your body feel what it feels. Please stop trying to control the way you feel and instead control the way you think. Control the meaning you assign to what you label as anxiety, and don't let your anxiety get you in the way of your future. When I started doing this, I stopped labeling every single little feeling I felt as anxiety, and I started opening up. Other people around me weren't feeling this stressed out version of myself anymore. They were feeling my anticipation for what's coming, and that's the shift. Let's talk about the energy economy real quick. Some girls get everything they want without even trying. And what nobody tells you is with energy, you're either spending it or you're attracting it. Most people spend their entire lives chasing after things that are actually not meant for them. Chasing validation, opportunities. And the truth is, when you are chasing after something, you are not in receiving mode. And I know this sounds like a whole lot of woo-doo whatever, right? But like, it's really not. Just think about it. You are trying to chase that opportunity or that person or that relationship because you are not whole without it. And when you're in your chasing energy, you are operating from a place of lack. You are telling the universe, I don't have this, I need this, please give me this, but you are not operating out of a place of actually knowing your own inherent worth. Have you ever noticed that when you really want someone, like maybe you're really crushing on someone, they don't seem like they want you, they're not giving you the attention that you want, but as soon as you stop caring, all of a sudden they start to care? Yep, that's because when you're detached, you're the most magnetic version of yourself. And here's what detachment isn't. It's not going, oh my god, I just really don't care about this person, and then you're checking your phone every 5 minutes because you want a text from them. It's an internal knowing that even if you don't get what you think you want, you will be okay, because deep down you know that in the absence of what you thought you wanted, you will find something even better. It's an internal knowing that good things actually do happen to you. All this idea of the energy economy means is that most things have an inverse relationship. The more you push towards something, the more it pulls away. As price rises, demand falls. And using that analogy really fast of an economic system, oftentimes when you raise the price of who you think you should be, demand from the people who accepted you at that price level will drop. But what you must understand is that we are living in an economy. There is always energy. When you take an action out of lack, when you lower your price after you just raised it, you're not giving the economy enough room to acknowledge what the price of who you are is. You are settling because you're realizing that the attention or the validation that you used to get from people who are no longer on your level is gone. But it's not gone for a bad reason. Not all money is good money. Not all attention is good attention. At the beginning of this video, I talked about how a lot of us believe that our validation determines our worth, but that's not always true. Other people validating you is not what determines your worth. And if you are choosing to up your price, you might have to see that demand falls for a little bit, but that doesn't mean that demand will stay low. Magnetic people don't chase, they attract. And I know that's the literal simplest definition of what magnetism and manifestation is, but it's true. Because when you are chasing after validation from people who you no longer resonate with, you affirm that the people who are about to come into your life are not an energetic match to you. You are denying yourself of the good opportunities that are about to flood in, all because you were scared of saying no. So if I were you, I'd stop begging for invitations. I'd stop asking to be included to things. I'd stop asking for people to see my worth. And instead, I would remove my presence from people who obviously don't see that. Magnetism is truly about shifting from scarcity to certainty. Certainty in who you are and who you're becoming. It's not, oh, why is it not me? It's, of course it's going to be me. Of course I'm going to be successful. Of course I'm going to get the relationship I want, the job I want, the life I want, because I am deserving of good things. Your life cannot expand beyond your identity because your subconscious can't accept what you don't believe. Let me say that again. You cannot accept abundance into your life when you are still operating as the unlucky girl. This is why your self-worth dictates your energetic boundaries with people. When you know you're valuable, you stop having to give over explanations. You stop tolerating low effort energy from people and you start recognizing your value, even if it feels lonely. So this 2026, I don't want you to go in with this expectation where you're gonna glow up into this baddie version of yourself because you're just going to get some 10-step skincare routine, okay? You need to glow up with your energetic habits. The truth is that people treat you according to the identity that you project, not the effort that you give people. You can be the nicest, most helpful, most kind person, but if you're operating from, please like me, you are never going to get that glow up. Just take 30 days and operate from this place, and trust me, you'll see how things start to flow. Stop allowing your anxiety to get into every single fabric of your mind. Stop accepting low effort people just because you're lonely. Let go of your anxiety and allow things to happen, because you know that people doing you wrong is just revealing their own character, not stopping your personal future. Nothing can get in the way of you and your goals except for your own inaction. Trying too hard repels opportunities, so stop trying to do more and instead allow yourself to be who you are. Move in your authenticity and you will see how much you glow up. Last but certainly not least, stop hoping. You've been brainwashed by society that expecting good things makes you spoiled and entitled, but in reality, you're just requiring what you already give to other people. You don't tolerate disrespect from someone and just hope they change. No, you expect respect from someone and you leave when they don't. It's very simple. It's very black and white. When you hope something happens, you're still operating from the doubt that you are worthy of less. Like, just think about it. I hope he texts me. If he likes me, he'll text me. If not, I'm not worried about it. Expectation is not arrogance. It's just knowing that good things are meant to happen to you. With that being said, thank you for watching part 1 of my magnetism series. If you liked it, please be sure to like this video, subscribe, and also go check out Skillshare. Again, the first 500 people get 1 month free of Skillshare. So go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen or click the link at the top of the description. I'm so happy to go into 2026 with you guys. I love you guys so much. And as always, stay safe.